The number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
So I made a recent purchase in New York. So there's actually not a lot of music stores, at least not as much as there used to be. There is a Buffet flagship store, there's a Vandoren flagship store, but there used to be a lot more music stores, but they all went out of business essentially. In Times Square there was some street called Music Row, and all these small businesses were located there, and basically now the rents got so high that they wound up no longer continuing. So they've been out of business for a while. There's kind of the mega stores like Sam Ash and Guitar Center. However, there is a really good store in Long Island. It's called Weiner Music, or maybe it's Weiner Music. I don't know. I think we all call it Weiner Music, but they have a pretty good selection of clarinet stuff. It's close by, and so what's nice is if for shipping, it just comes in sometimes less than 2 days. So I'm gonna share with you what I got. Not too exciting, just to read stuff, the usual. Oh my god, how do you open this? Let's see how much damage I've done. Oops, I ripped it. Oh, it doesn't say how much it cost. Basically, it was around, I paid over $250. So it's $250 worth of reed stuff. Yeah, it's expensive being a clarinet player. Okay, let's see what I got. Okay, I get it, but they're reeds. Well, I guess you don't want them crushed, but I don't think it's totally necessary to have so much. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright, so I just dumped it all out here. Let's see what we got. Alright, so I have some these, most of the Vandoren products. V21 4s right here. So I got basically 2 of each. Right here I have, this is the V12. So V12, just FYI, V12 is a thicker blank than the V21. Got it? And what's great is that Vandoren comes with these quarter sizes. So this technically is 3.75. Alright, so I have 2 of these right here. I only got one size 4 of this because I have an unopened box. And then I don't know if I should have gotten these, but I did anyway. 3.75 V21. So the reason why I have different sizes for reeds is you never want just one size. And the reason why is when the climate changes, the reed's going to change. And so I believe, and you could totally disagree with me on this, but I believe that having a reed just a little bit harder and maybe that step a little softer is a good thing. So if you play 3.75, maybe during the cooler times where maybe the reed is too soft and you need to go up a quarter, so that would be a size 4, right? The other thing is this: the mouthpiece that you have is going to determine what type of reed you're going to use for the most part. Sometimes I look at the diagram and the resize that works for me doesn't necessarily correlate with the mouthpiece, but normally it does. And the thing about this is I have 2 mouthpieces that I'm using. I'm using a Qlxs, and I'm also using a Vandoren mouthpiece. And the Vandoren mouthpiece, my pitch is lower, and it needs lighter reeds. And with the Qlxs, my pitch is higher, and I need to use harder reeds. And it's important that we remember that when it comes to pitch, it really depends on the ensemble that you're playing with, right? If the ensemble's playing 442, you have to play 442. That means your setup, you know, the reeds, the mouthpiece, barrel, needs to go with that. If the ensemble plays 440, then you got to go with that. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing you have to remember is, as you embark in the clarinet journey, which tends to be a little pricey, you're going to accumulate a lot of like kind of equipment, but just realize that it's for a purpose. I wouldn't buy reeds for the sake of buying unless you're like trying to test out and see a new brand. But once you start playing for a while, you'll realize, okay, these reeds work for me, these reeds are consistent. For me, vandoren reeds have a consistency that I like, and so that's why I purchase them regularly. So sometimes I'll try a different brand, but then I find myself always going back to the V21s and the V12s. So that's what I got here, and I got both sizes. Here, so there you go. So these reeds, a box of reeds, there's 10 reeds in each box, essentially is around $32 a box now. I remember the day when a box of reeds did not cost $30 or over $30, $32.99. It costs like $25 or $27, sometimes even less. But the prices have gone up. You know, there's so many elements to any kind of product, shipping, the cane, where it comes from, all those things, the packaging, all of those contribute to costs, which is kind of frustrating. Like, the price just goes up and up and up, right? It'll never go down. It's just, you know, by probably in a few years, it'll be even more. And with the pandemic, COVID-19 going on, I'm sure that prices are going to go even higher. So here's the thing. It might be worth considering purchasing maybe a few boxes of extra reeds than what you normally would, just to kind of consider that the second wave might come. So for example, in New York City, we've had our first wave. We're doing all right now, and I believe the second wave, this is my prediction, the second wave might come and it might be harder to get things, right? So instead of buying 20 things of toilet paper, right, maybe consider some of the things that you need for work. So yeah, so that's what I think. Also, I also have one more purchase that I want to share with you. Okay, last but not least, I bought Legere reed, and Legere it's a Canadian company. So this is the signature series. I got the European cut, and I got size 4. And the reason why I got size 4 is my experience with Legere reeds is that it's slightly, it always winds up being just a little bit too soft the next few times that I use it. So I decided to try the 4 instead. This is also the first time I'm trying the European cut. Usually the one I have is, it says signature series, but it doesn't say European cut. So we'll see how it works out. This purchase here, this was like, I think $30 or $40. So you get one of these, it's gonna cost you around $40, most likely 30 or $40, depending on the vendor that you use. So that is what I got. A lot of reeds. Yeah, that's it.
Audience development, composers, arts equity, and the last one is musicians. We are in the middle of our flagship event for musicians. Quinteto Latino is for musicians, called Seminario. Seminario is when Quinteto Latino brings 20 Latinx musicians from all over the United States to talk about identity, to talk about how we as Latinos, as diverse, we are discovering today how diverse we are as Latinos, navigate we want to say to the field at large, conservatories, orchestras, advocacy organizations, let us know. If you have ideas around how classical music can better serve Latinos musicians and retain.
During one of the breakout rooms, we really realized how big and grand the umbrella term Latino is, right?
And he's been teaching me a lot as well. So when we got together to record this, it was just such a really beautiful and peaceful meeting.
Atendemos los 7 días de la semana, de 10 de la mañana a 9 de la noche. Electro usa 3 Core, tu mejor opción. Thank you.